Ain't no way that I was gonna let James Gunn go to a panel out here, bro, and I not try to do my absolute fucking best to make sure that I pull up on this dude.
This is 100% stalkerish behavior. No question about it. The guy in the red shirt there, he's also at the top talking about this whole thing. He infiltrated Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, waited in line for hours to get into Hall H. The hardest place to get into at Comic-Con, by the way, is getting into Hall H. He waited in the line for hours to confront James Gunn. And he's alleging that James Gunn noticed him, they had a stare down, and James was shook. Allegedly, the guy in the photo next to him claims he has footage of this apparent stare down. I don't know where to begin with this, but okay. The guy here that we're talking about, he's 100% a Snyder cultist. There's a huge difference between being a Snyder cultist and a Zack Snyder fan. I really shouldn't have to explain it, but if you're toxic 100% online, attacking other people for having a different opinion than you, and just constantly attacking other people and just being toxic, rude, and just hateful, Snyder cultist. If you're a Zack Snyder fan, you're not doing any of this stuff, you're not a Snyder cultist. Okay, done with that explanation and what the differences are. It should be very obvious. Some people just don't understand the difference for some reason. So yeah, this guy claims he had a stare down with James Gunn. And at one point in this whole stream, which I'm not going to play the whole 3-hour thing, it's ridiculous, because I can't even listen to it, but just taking bits and pieces people have posted. At one point, he claims he was potentially going to fight James Gunn or something, like something was going to happen. He had to pull up on him. Huh? And just be clear, if something like this happened with a gun fanatic or something, or somebody who's a huge fan of James Gunn went to an event where Zack Snyder was to infiltrate and confront him, I'd be saying the same thing. Like, this is just uncomfortable. We're going to play a little bit of this, and I'm going to show you what his mentality, what he's thinking, what happened, and why he did this. It's okay.
I did this for y'all, dog. Ain't no way that I was gonna let James Gunn go to a panel out here, bro, and I not try to do my absolute fucking best to make sure that I pull up on this dude. And that is exactly what we did, Joe.
Yeah.
Josh,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna show the people a visual kind of representation of what happened. Now you tell me if I'm wrong, right?
All right.
And yeah, he plays a clip from The Boys where Billy Butcher looks at Homelander and they have a huge stare down. And apparently there's footage. We're not going to show this due to copyright.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
The stare down.
100%. And I have it on video.
Where's the video? Where is it? People were commenting on this saying, wow, this is pretty sad. And people are actually being more like detailed in terms of like, they were saying, oh, this allegedly happened. Apparently, because this guy was saying he was at front row. He was front row about to confront James Gunn, and the security was there. It was like, yeah, the security would have stopped you. Because they make a point to point out the security that's behind them in the photo. You would have been stopped before you got on stage. Or if you would have been able to get on stage, you wouldn't have done anything to James Gunn. Like, I don't believe for a second you would have done anything to him. You want to get charged with assault? You want to get charged with something more if you would actually went up there and did something to him? Like, I don't understand what the point of this was exactly, to confront him, to pull up on James Gunn. I don't understand what you thought was going to happen. Because people are also pointing out, too, if you're up front at the very front of the stage there, the lighting there, the way it's actually, like they light the stage and everything, what people are saying is it's possible, and people are thinking it's probably true based on people like, because there's been some celebrities who like go out in Hall H and film. It's very hard to see the people in the front row due to the lighting. It's very hard to see out into the crowd in general, but it's hard to see actual faces at the very front unless you're sitting a certain way. So it's possible James Gunn didn't even see this guy. So he spent money, time, like a fair amount of money to get into Comic-Con, a fair amount of time to get into Hall H, to sit up front to confront a guy who probably doesn't even know you exist. And if he does know you exist, dude, it's for the wrong reasons. And you're thinking, well, he should know who I am. No, he doesn't have to know who you are. And he probably doesn't. But if he does, it's for the wrong reasons because you're a toxic individual online. And he's probably aware of that. You want to hear a fun fact? James Gunn is friends with Zack Snyder. They're friends. They're buddies. They've known each other for a long time. And you're out there acting like you did something to a guy that's actually friends with the guy that you support. It's just strange behavior here. He's acting like he did something. Now, what you did was you actually, in retrospect, just understand this. You wasted your money. If there is footage of James Gunn staring you down, I'm pretty sure he probably was just looking across the crowd or answered a question, was looking in your direction, and you think he was staring you down and he was shook. I don't think for a second that happened because I actually watched a good portion of the entire Peacemaker panel just to see what kind of questions he was answering and discussing about potential other things outside of Peacemaker. I'm not really a fan of Peacemaker. I've never seen the show, don't really care to. Not once was I watching that panel, and obviously the camera's moving around, so I'm not seeing every single second, but there's not a point where James Gunn is looking uncomfortable, like, oh my God, it's that guy from YouTube. Oh my God, it's that guy from Twitter. No, he doesn't fucking know who you are. Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure what else is said after this. Let's see.
I pulled up on that man.
Yeah, you pulled up.
Front row, bro.
He probably didn't see you.
Right there.
Visual representation.
Right
You see the security
there,
in the back.
Yo.
Yeah,
look,
security in the back.
That man was shook, dog.
Was he?
I don't want to hear from nobody, bro. Y'all don't get it. I was in the front row. I was right in front of the moderator. Bro, y'all have no idea. They was all watching like this, like, or everybody is that.
He's talking about this monitor that apparently everyone up there on stage was looking at, and his head was right there. Once again, there's possibility that they actually didn't see you at all. And if they did not recognize you, man. You're acting like you're like some big shot online that everyone knows. Like the only reason why, I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I know about this whole entire infiltration is because somebody who actually has a social media presence online, RJ Resident Justice, posted about this meltdown. It's not a meltdown to you, but it's a meltdown. It's pretty sad. You're admitting you spent a lot of money, you spent a lot of time waiting in line to get into Hall H to confront a man that you disagree with about movies that he's making and a DC he's taking over with Peter Safran because you want Zack Snyder to finish his story. I understand you want Zack Snyder to finish his story. I would have liked to have seen it conclude too, but dude, you are going so far out of your way and literally entering into stalkerish territory, being a stalker, because this is stalkerish behavior, to confront a man who doesn't even know you exist. That's what stalkers do. A lot of stalkers the people don't even know they're being stalked. Like they don't know who the stalker is. In this instance, this is what's happening to James Gunn. He doesn't know that you exist, and yet you're stalking him and going out of your way to do this to make a point that no one is getting in the audience. Because did you do anything? Did you stand up there screaming Snyder cut, restore the Snyderverse? Did you do anything? Because he was acting like he wanted to get kicked out. Okay, then why didn't you do that? Like, why didn't you try to make your point? Like, why are you coming online saying for 3 hours that you infiltrated Comic-Con and you were there to confront this guy, but you actually didn't do anything? The only thing you're coming away was allegedly footage exists of him staring at me and he was shook. Where is anything else you were saying you were going to do? I'm not saying, yeah, go and attack James Gunn, but don't sit there and act like you're going to do something or you're pulling up on him to expose him or whatever you're trying to do. And you don't even try to do anything. I'm 99.9% sure James Gunn would have been completely fine if you would have tried something, because something would happen. Somebody would have stopped you, because there's plenty of times someone would have noticed you're getting up on stage or whatever the hell you were trying to do. You know what? You should have stood up and started screaming and showing a sign or something about the Snyderverse or whatever the hell. And you got kicked out. That would have got you some attention. But what would have happened is that panel probably would have laughed at you because you were screaming nonsense, which understandable. I want the Snyderverse to continue to. I'd like to see what Zack Snyder, sorry, I said James Gunn, Zack Snyder would have completed with his story, but that's not happening. It's unfortunately not happening. So if you would have got kicked out for doing something like that and not trying to hurt somebody, but just screaming about the Snyderverse and restore the Snyderverse, Netflix, whatever you wanted to say, that would have gotten some more attention. Yeah, this is just weird ass behavior.
On that side, they were all watching this TV. My head was right above the fucking TV. There's no way, bro. There's no way. He saw people that was sitting like 2 seats to the fucking right of me, bro.
Yeah, but he probably didn't recognize anybody. He didn't recognize you. Like, you're not some big shot on social media or online. Like, I'd have never heard of you. I never heard of you until this whole situation. And even if James Gunn, like I said, even if James Gunn even knew who you were, it's for the wrong reasons. And I'm pretty sure even if he heard about you or saw you at one point, he probably didn't recognize you. And even if he did recognize you, he probably thought it was funny that you're there. Like, oh, wait, this guy who hates me on social media, constantly attacking me and shit, he's here at my panel. That's funny. That's probably what he was thinking. There's no, like, he was shook. Dude, he's co-running DC with Peter Safran. You're just some guy online screaming about how you want a universe to continue that's not happening anymore. And once again, I would like to have seen what would have happened. After seeing the Snyder Cut, the 4-hour cut, I would have loved to have seen what Zack Snyder had planned for the rest of his universe before he was going to conclude it. I would have liked to have seen it. But you're somebody who's screaming about something that's not going to happen while this guy's over there making movies and creating a whole new universe. He actually is able to play with the toys that he grew up loving and these characters and all this stuff. And you're just someone screaming online and being toxic and being stalkerish. That's the difference. It's pretty sad.